What is going on, people? Welcome back to my channel for another live trading recap. Today we're going to be talking about, do you trust your analysis? And I want to show you how over the last 2 days I had potential to make massive returns, but instead I self-sabotaged myself, and what started off as a really great beginning to this week wound up by today, Wednesday, turning into being a down week. So I'm going to go over that, show you some tips on how I could have done better, and hopefully something that you can incorporate for your trades. Let's get into it. Before we get started, if you like what I'm doing in these videos, just make sure to give it a thumbs up so that I know and I can get it out to other traders. And if you really like what I'm doing, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. Now let's get into this trading recap. So first thing we have to do is we have to start with Euro USD on Monday, July 20th of this week. And if you look back at the video that I posted on my YouTube about the winner that I had here on Euro USD on Monday, you'll see that I've been staying with this overall trend, which has been rising since all the way back here at the beginning pretty much of July, just continuing higher to this previous structure high that I've been looking for since probably mid-June, just looking for price to kind of settle, find support, and then move higher to at least test these highs, and it has exceeded these highs. And Monday, starting this week, was no exception. And we wound up making money, but instead of staying in this trade, trusting it to continue with the overall trend, to wind up moving from my entry on Monday, which is down here at 20. I'm getting long on EU. I got to stop at 10. Wound up moving about 180 pips, give or take. Now, granted, I wouldn't hold this trade that whole entire time, but even if I had taken half the profits and let the other position run on this, 180 pips at $15 a pip, which would have been half of my position, is still over $2,000. So you say, okay, well, that's not how you trade. You trade 2% for 2R. But I even pulled it a little short and didn't even put it in for the full 2% risk. So again, do I trust my analysis? Yes. But did I show it? No, I didn't. Wound up being a positive winning day, but I left a lot of profits out there on the table. Then we come into yesterday. Yesterday on Tuesday was a little choppy. You can see I had this wedge kind of being formed right here on Euro USD, and I actually took it to the downside, and I lost a little bit of money before getting in it correctly to the upside. And this ran way past its ADR, as you can see. But again, didn't take the full position. I was down $420, so I took a smaller entry, got back, covered my losses, made about $176. But had I just let the trade run, which is what I've been saying, I wrote it on my whiteboard, give the market time. Because if you are in this overall uptrend that we've been seeing since, I said, towards the beginning of July, and it's running higher, there shouldn't be a chance for this market to pull back on me. It should just be consistently moving higher until it tells me not to. My entry here was 59.6, which was pretty much this candle close right here. Got in. I'm getting long EU. Would have stopped at 50. Gonna give it one more shot. And again, if you look at it, 140, 135, 38 pips, give or take. On that trade, I believe I had another 3 standards at 136 pips. Now again, I don't trade that way. Maybe I just take half the position, put the stop in profit, and let it run. So then even, the same thing, $15 a pip, moving for 140 is another $2,000 if I let it run. And that brings us into today's specific trade recap on how I really botched a great entry here on GU to the upside and wound up losing twice, not once, but twice in good trade positions. When you come back to the daily, you can see that on Monday, we had this really nice push. This TDI is in a buying condition. You'd want to stay with the trend to at least these highs up here from the 10th, from the 11th. That makes sense to me. If the market is going to continue higher, it should at least come and test these highs before moving higher if the trend is continuing, or finding resistance and then potentially tapering off. But you want to stay with that trend. So Monday it pushed, Tuesday it pushed, and here Wednesday is where we had a little bit of a pullback. Now, I really like this to go up because of what we were seeing on the daily. So as we move to the 5-minute, here's exactly what I was seeing. I was seeing an ascending channel that had formed from about 5 o'clock in my time Eastern. It broke down, and I said, if this is going to come lower, it's going to come up and potentially test this area and then come down and confirm like a bearish engulfing, and then it would be correcting more. But I want to stay with the trend. I want to continue to the upside. You can see how it's still in a buying condition here in a 5-minute. It's kind of like down, pins. This could come up. We want to stay with the overall trend. This is kind of double bottoming here, and look at the divergence on the 1-minute. So it's not, that's not correct. See? This low is exactly equal. And we do say that we want to stay overall to the upside on this at 9:40. This candle closes right in here, just like this. 2 candle. It comes down, double bottoms. You can see it here, bottom on the TDI. 1, 2. This is a bullish engulfing pattern that I recognize as potential buying entry. It shows support, and then it comes up and it engulfs the whole level of consolidation right here. That's how I see it. It comes and it shows potential to the upside. It comes through this trend line. This TDI is in a buying condition, but I really liked that overall this was in an uptrend, and I like that 2 candle signal to show me continuation. So I took the entry. Do I like this 5-minute? I think so. I'm long GU. I'm going to keep a really close eye on it. My stop is going to be 126.94. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'd like to stay with the momentum of the overall trend. Hope this isn't like a break the channel, retest the channel, and then fall back over. We want to stay with the trend. This looks like a really nice 2 candle breakout. Found support, divergence here. It should kind of, I would think, it should move higher. So this is what it looked like. My entry was 11. My stop was 94. It was about a 17 pip stop. You know I like to go for 2R, and it didn't quite get there today. But what happened was that, and I'll remove this for now so you can see and we can get into it. This is what really got me. Came up through another 2 candle. So here's your 2 candle for entry. Throws another 2 candle. I'm really liking what I'm seeing, but it looked like it was starting to kind of move sideways, and then the very next candle was this push down. I'd like to see, break, retest this level, and continue higher. The trend line right here on the 5-minute, you can see. So I'd like to see the reaction where it holds it and pushes. If it breaks through, because you can see right here, this was like my entry. So it's right back at my entry. It broke above, it's back at the entry. I'd like to see it hold the entry and then drive higher. If it doesn't, yeah, this is kind of falling away. Not the way I want it to go. I don't want to give up on it yet. There's still a lot of time in this candle, but if it's wrong, I want to get out quick and not take a full L. But you still have 7 minutes in a candle. I don't really want to close it mid-candle. It could still hold this level of support. Doesn't look good. I'm closing it. Am I closing it? It could just hit the 50 though, Drew. I closed it. I'm getting out of this trade. Still got 6 minutes in the candle. I'm going to close it though, just because the dollar index looks like it has so much momentum. It could hold here. I could be wrong. But I didn't like the way that looked. That's not right. It's not what I want to see. This candle still hadn't closed yet. It was still 5 to 7 minutes left in this candle. So I closed before the 15-minute close. And had I let that happen, I would have saw this. I definitely got out a little early, because you can see like I'm right back to where my entry is. But, just trying to cut my losses quick when it doesn't look right. Didn't do much except hit this 50 here on the 5-minute. I didn't let the candle close on the 15-minute. and it just wicked, and it could certainly move higher, and look, I'd be back in profit right now. So I definitely could have closed it a little prematurely. That could be from staring at the lower time frames too much, not completely trusting myself, mixing in a DXY, you know, too many things. I think the important thing to do is just to stay with your overall trend, trust your reads, and go from there. So nothing I can do about it now. I took a L. I'm down $311. This looks like it's trying to move higher, like I was hoping it would. I had jumped in EU short real quick and got out of that just as quick, and I only lost about $87. Came back and I took this entry right here on the 5-minute because, again, this was another igniting candle. It was through this market sentiment in a buying condition at this time. This trend line was rising. I was seeing the potential for extension on this candle. All right, I'm getting long with GU. My stop's going to be where I said at 11. This is a good entry that I would take. Push. It held. Now try and get it to go. At this point, I'm just looking to make back some of the losses that I took today. Wound up getting in here at 31, all the way up here by the time I got in. So that's 20 pips from where I should have been in profit. This could have been a second entry for me. Not a re-entry for a first trade because I got out of this. I should have trusted my read, trusted the 2% risk that I put on here. It was only 2% risk, but I pulled it and I lost $313, lost 87 on EU, got into this one, started moving higher, then it started pulling down. And again, when it was pulling down, I got out of it before letting the 15-minute candle close. I'm out of the trade. It's my max loss for the day, 4%. I'm out. That's a bad loss, but it's all relative because it's relative to my account, so it's a 4% loss. Bad day. Bad day on my part. It's not good trading. Not good trading at all. I can't risk losing like $1,100 today. It's not worth it. It's just a bad day. You have them sometimes. I had a great play on GU, and I'm just getting in my way. And while it might play out, I just can't do it. So I have to get out. I should have been out here at 40 from my entry at 11. It would have been probably $1,000, close to it. And I'm completely the opposite way. I lost 800. So this is trading, man. This is Forex. This is the market. This is what happens, you know. And it just never would have stopped me out because my stop was down here. I was in at 31 and my stop was at 10. So I had like a 20 pip stop, and I never would have got stopped out on that one too. So I'll mark off my 2 stops for you. Here's my first stop at 94. And then here's my second stop at 10. Those are my 2 stop levels. Do you see price coming back to these levels and stopping me out at all? It didn't. My read was good, but I sabotaged myself and didn't believe that what I was seeing was actually going to hold. And as you can see, I would have never gotten stopped out. And even still, to this point right now where I'm making this video, this entry up here is in profit by 6 pips. I would have probably been able to handle the change over a day and still be 2 positions in profit. So again, do you trust your analysis? Do you believe what the charts are telling you, that you're in an uptrend? Are you finding good probable setups here on the 5-minute? Not once, but twice, to take this to the upside with your overall trend. Instead, I wound up pulling this trade unnecessarily 2 times, coupled with my Euro USD loss, brings me to negative 3.5% and a little over $800 unnecessarily. I could have definitely made money on 2 positions here and continued the profitable week that I was doing, but instead I got in my head and I caused myself to get out of a winning position. So I think that it's important that if you put the risk on, make sure that you stay with the risk. And if you're believing and trusting your analysis, then you have to see yourself through. See it through when you're hitting the trade correctly, like I was on Monday and Tuesday with Euro USD to the upside, to not let your profits be taken short. Also the same for GU. Trust the overall time frames, that you're in an uptrend, that you're catching extension, that you're finding good probable entries that I consistently understand as my edge and see them through, and don't pull before you get candle closures, because this market was just a little choppy, but it continues to move higher because we are in an uptrend and you want to stay with the trend. So that's it for this trading recap video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what I'm doing, make sure to hit the like button so I can get it out to other traders. And if you really like it, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any other content that I'm putting on this channel. Thanks for checking it out, and I will see you in the next trading recap video.